be mental institutions. I used to mention, and the press would always excoriate me, I'd say the late, great Hannibal Lecter came into our country today. Silence of the Lamb. Anybody see that movie? Lovely movie.
Donald Trump has this interesting little habit when every time he speaks, it is bound to backfire. He is bound to let something slip or say something strange enough to raise concerns because his life is built on corruption, criminality, and hypocrisy. So obviously that is going to happen. But what he said in a wild and out of control speech today was incredibly weird. So much so that it's really starting to raise concerns about him and Elon Musk. And we are going to get into all of that and what was a disaster speech from Donald Trump today. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this first part of Donald Trump's wild speech, him just losing control.
Our new administration will inherit disasters at home and abroad, an economy plagued by inflation and high interest rates, a catastrophic border crisis. Nobody can believe they let people in. They have an open border policy. Do you think that makes sense? Open borders. Anybody wants to. Jails, prisons, mental institutions, gangs being emptied right through that ugly open border, a government that cannot care for its citizens in a time of emergency. Look at what's happening in Los Angeles. Look at what's happening in North Carolina. They've treated them so badly. In a planet on the brink of World War III. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But starting tomorrow, I will act with historic speed and strength and fix every single crisis facing our country. We have to do it. We're not going to have a country left.
We have seen 48 straight months of job growth under the Biden administration. We have seen record highs in all of the most important economic indicators, record lows, and all the worst. I don't know what Donald Trump is talking about in terms of inheriting a bad situation, and amongst those numbers that are really low border crossings, we have seen several straight months of border crossings lower under President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris than they were under Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's trying to say right now. Clearly what Donald Trump is doing, though, is attempting to lower expectations because he made these big promises that he has already admitted won't come true on the campaign trail about lowering cost of rent, of gas, of groceries, specifically eggs. And you better believe we're going to be tracking all of those prices on this show. But Donald Trump knows he can't keep those promises. But there is one promise he will certainly be keeping because he told his crowd all about it right here.
Tomorrow, everybody in this very large arena will be very happy with my decision on the J6 hostages. Very happy. I think you'll be very, very happy. I would say about 99.9% in this beautiful arena.
There has to be someone in Donald Trump's circle. Or maybe there isn't anymore because he is only having yes men around him. A Republican congressman just yesterday said 95% commitment to Donald Trump. 95% loyalty is not enough. If you're only 95% in, you're out. You have to be 100%. So maybe there isn't anyone saying that it is incredibly unpopular when he talks about freeing, not the January 6th prisoners, not the January 6th hostages, as he wants to call them, but rioters who broke the law in violent fashions. That's who those people are. Yeah. Instead of focusing on your grocery bill, Donald Trump is focused on his insurrectionist, and that is incredibly unpopular. And what else is incredibly unpopular is still Donald Trump's first term, which, hearkening back to, I don't think he realizes that.
Because we have to do some of best of, right? But they're going to come and say to me, sir, we're winning too much, sir. We can't take it anymore. We have to stop winning, sir. We can't do it. We're not used to winning in our country. And each one of them is going to say, every single one, sir, please, please, You're destroying our country. We're winning too much. Our country isn't prepared for this. They're not used to winning, sir. And I'll say, no, Linda and everybody, we're not going to stop winning. The people of our country want us to keep on winning, and we're going to go win like never, ever before.
What Donald Trump clearly doesn't understand is the positive perception, and it is a false positive perception that people have of his first term, isn't of the insane things he would post on Twitter, isn't the times he would attack journalists or his political enemies. It wasn't him trying to get a quid pro quo with Ukraine for dirt on Joe Biden. No, it was people's idea that they, and maybe this is the case for some, had more money in their pockets, although at the end of Donald Trump's administration, his economic disaster because of his mismanagement of coal. That certainly wasn't the case, but that's how people think. That's what they remember. I don't know what winning he is talking about. Besides the incredible economy that he inherited from Barack Obama, there was a lot of losing during the Trump administration, but obvious. Obviously, Donald Trump isn't thinking about that, and clearly he's not really thinking when he's speaking. Otherwise, he wouldn't say this about Elon Musk.
And it's pretty amazing, but he did that, and then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania, and he's a popular guy, and he was very effective, and he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote-counting computers, and we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
Now, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories about this all, but what a strange thing for Donald Trump to say about Elon Musk. And I remember on election night, Dana White had talked about how Elon Musk had some app on his phone, or he was getting information so early that he was able to predict the election hours before it was even called. And sure, that could have been Elon Musk with precinct data. That could have been Elon Musk with early vote share. I remember everyone predicting that Donald Trump was going to win based off of data here, or that VP Harris was going to win based off of data there. It doesn't always turn out to be the case, but either way, what a really weird thing for Donald Trump to say. And imagine if Mark Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey or Jeff Bezos or some other tech billionaire had the same thing said about them by Joe Biden in 2020, or VP Harris before the election. MAGA would be going crazy. So I don't want to push a bunch of conspiracies here, but again, like, we don't even have to push conspiracies, because Elon was meddling in the election in Pennsylvania. He was paying people in his lottery, which was clearly against the law. The only reason he's not being prosecuted for it is because Donald Trump is the president-elect. Elon Musk was tampering with that election. We don't even have to play pretend, but we don't need to get into conspiracies about Elon Musk tampering with elections when it actually already happened. And that's not the only horrible thing that has happened in this election. Donald Trump kind of brought up one of them in this clip right here.
And I want to thank Charlie. Charlie is fantastic. I mean, this guy, don't believe this stuff when you hear the kids are liberal. They're not liberal. Maybe they used to be, but they're not anymore. You got to see how many people are for us.
Now, it certainly, and unfortunately, is the case that a bigger portion of my generation turned out to vote for Donald Trump than would have been expected. Now, that doesn't mean somehow the generation that of the youngest generation, the youngest voting bloc, is suddenly going to be turning out in huge percentage for Republicans. I don't buy that. But it certainly is a concern that Democrats need to focus on. And there was some recent data that the group most likely not to turn out and vote in this past election, because they didn't like either candidates was college educated or current college students who were members of Gen Z. And that is incredibly concerning. And so while we see these huge right-wing ecosystems built up like Turning Point USA, run by Charlie Kirk, who Donald Trump was feigning in that clip, making sure they're doing everything they can to register and turn out college students or young people to vote for Republicans, Democrats need to be building the same infrastructure. And that's certainly what we're doing with this show online and investing in a left-wing and progressive media ecosystem to reach those people. And now we have Donald Trump with this big fake win on TikTok that's also contributing to a generation that is really lacking real substantive information, thinking that Donald Trump saved their favorite application. So we have so much working against us. We have to work all that much harder to combat that misinformation and to combat Donald Trump, especially when he has that right-wing media ecosystem on his side, and not even just that, billions of dollars behind him in the form of Elon Musk, who had this to say at the speech.
We're looking forward to making a lot of changes, and you know, this victory is the start, really. What matters going forward is to actually make significant changes, cement those changes, and set the foundation for America to be strong for a century, for centuries, forever. So, and make America great again. Yeah.
The long-term change that Musk is talking about is making sure billionaires like him get everything they want all the time. The corruption is at the center of this administration. It is built in, and we have to call it out. And we are certainly going to be every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.